So I talked about the organic farming yesterday, specifically because it's one of the solutions that I proposed in my appeal in Switzerland. I said that the Organic Trust and others, a few years ago now, it's slightly different now. I used to say that it took 6 years for the ground, for the earth, the soil, and water to recover its dignity and for all the residue of pesticides, insecticides, and other chemicals to um, disappear. So the earth can deal with things after 6 years, which is quite amazing if you think of the level of pollution there is in unseen. So that's what I said we should do. We should stop. We should stop the genetic engineering of microbes and other organisms and us, preferably. And we should stop for 6 years. Chemicals and hard industries, and put a stop to it for 6 years, and the earth can recover itself. And that would be another way of looking at that, which I really wanted to impress on them, was that it's been an experiment, and so these things are monitored. That's the other great thing about organic farming, is it's monitored every single year. Someone comes, they check that you haven't added soil, they check that you haven't used any pesticides. They check that you haven't used any dodgy seeds. You have to show where you bought your seeds from, make sure they're heirloom varieties rather than patented Monsanto seeds or something like that. So this is all well and good, um, but but the labelling of GMO or unsprayed food isn't at all as rigorous, So at the moment, for example, even in Aldi, they're calling GMO ingredients bioenhanced. So if you think you're getting something with a little extra calcium or a few more minerals in it, you're actually getting GMO ingredients, and we all know what that can kickstart in the immune system, or any other organ of the body, which might take umbrage at the whatever organ might take umbrage at the DNA damaged genome. So that affects everybody. People who have already feel unwell and stressed, whether it's through the adrenaline rush from the Wi-Fi and that energetic thing, or whether it's physically from some illness. I really wanted to offer today an exchange in a way. Uh, I was lucky enough to come across energy clearing, and it's maybe 25 years ago, and I've done a lot. A lot of people know me through that, and it can deal with all sorts of physical, emotional, spiritual. At the moment, um, I wouldn't even narrow it down. I would just say if there's an ailment and there is a difficulty, and you're not sure what it is, but it feels, even if it's an air of foreboding, there is an awful lot of instructions and information floating about that is having a difficult effect on us. You can imagine, even when you go online and behind your work, there is 2 or 3 pages open full of different information being received and sent through the airwaves. So I would happily do that. And I thought it might be nice for there to be an exchange of energy while I'm raising money for this appeal. Um, so that's the plan for today. I've often said, and I even called the GoFundMe "We the People," and some people don't really know what we the people. Does that refer to me? Does that refer to you? Who's included in that? And I think it was David Edelman, who's the people's lawyer, explained it very well. I'll see if I can find it. It's "We the people of flesh and blood living on sovereign land and soil in our private capacity, hereby declare that we are born onto the earth with the innate ability to mature into self-governing and self-responsible men and women, and the universal right to benefit freely from all that the earth has to offer. So that is really what I'm fighting for. Is that we can govern ourselves. We have our conscience. We have our insight. We have our love of each other, and we have the one principle: do no harm. So that is the real mastery, and yet all those anything that might come from that has been slightly hijacked by, well, people call it different things. You might call it the nanny state, where somebody is saying, I think what you need to do is, or what you must do is. So what I really loved was this little list that he follows on with, that we're not limited to, but we have the right to life, the right to freedom of association and peaceful assembly, the right to bodily autonomy and integrity, the right to peaceful freedom of expression, the right to privacy and to be left in peace, the right to work and to earn a living, the right to travel and roam freely. Ah, God, it feels like the good old days, doesn't it? It can still be possible, but we will have to fight for it, because there is this control net. It is coming down over us under all sorts of headings that seem kind of kind: health and inclusion and equity. No, 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 no. We have to be very discerning and to make sure that we hold on to our freedoms, because we're in a much better place than the people who've assumed authority, partly because they're being paid. I always think when you're paid to do something or you're profiting from something, you are influenced. That's the problem. So we need to take the power back. And thank you for all your help. And let me know. It doesn't matter if it's a large scale thing. I've had some huge successes with even things like multiple sclerosis, the big C, a lot of mental difficulties, spiritual kind of occupations, anything like that, anything like anything. I'd be very happy to hear from you and help in any way I can.